Hi guys, and welcome to a new video, and welcome to the channel if you're new here. I'm Ollie and this is Turner's Workshop, and in this week's video we're going to be having a look at this 8 kilowatt diesel heater. It's made by a company called HCalory, and they kindly reached out and asked me if I could make a demonstration video and review about this product. And being that time of year, it's getting pretty chilly now, so I thought, you know what, I could really do with a diesel heater. In this video, I'm going to be unboxing this product. I'll show you how to set it up, and we'll test out all the different features that it has, and I'll give you my honest feedback as to whether I think this is any good. This was ordered from Banggood. Now, I've never ordered anything from there before. I was actually quite impressed. It turned up next day. It comes well packaged in this box. Let's slide it out. This is the HC1S model, but they've got loads of different varieties of diesel heater depending on what setup you want. They now do toolbox ones as well, which are a bit more compact, I believe, and they've got different configurations of where the exhaust and inlet are located on the diesel heater. We have got our exhaust pipe, a single air duct, a wiring loom, that's for connecting onto a battery, inlet filter tube thing, an exhaust elbow, that's nice, silencer, whole selection of Jubilee clips, and then in this box we have our power adapter. I got the 3-pin plug because I'm in the UK, but they also come with EU plugs. Let's read the instructions and set this up. I have installed a diesel heater in the past on my last camper van, but it wasn't as fancy as this one and it didn't have as many features. Let's take this top cover off and see how it looks inside. So it's just got these clips on each side. They are a bit hard to undo. You need some nails, and I don't really have any nails. So let's just pop them off. You have to take the cap off to remove the cover. This particular diesel heater has a 5-litre fuel tank on top, but you can get different size fuel tanks depending on which model you go for. The fuel tank has a strainer in the filler neck, which is a nice idea to catch any bits of dirt before it enters the tank. And then below the tank we have our diesel heater unit. The cold air comes in one side, passes over the heat exchanger, and then hot air comes out of this duct on the other side. There are 3 different ways to control this diesel heater. The first one being the main controller, which comes on the unit itself. We've got this keyring key fob here, which can be used to change the temperature and turn it on and off. And you can also use an app to control it, which I'll show you a bit later on in this video. You can see on this side the diesel pump up there, and then we've got a nice little power supply socket on the back of the unit. And if we trace the wires through, it's got an inline fuse as well, which is really good to see. I'm going to put the cover back on for now while we set it up. Yeah, the fuel cap's not too bad. First of all, I'm going to connect up the inlet and exhaust for the combustion chamber. So our inlet is on this side next to the fuel line, and the exhaust is this side. Obviously you won't want your exhaust this close to the fuel line, just in case it got hot and burnt through it. It comes with this L piece, so you can have the exhaust coming out the side of it like that, out of there, or you can put this flexible exhaust straight on the bottom, depending on where you're mounting it. That would just go on there like that, and then you just Jubilee clip that on the bottom. So let's put that piece on there. It comes with this little bracket and a couple of screws for mounting this L piece on the exhaust. And then this is our inlet pipe. So you can just stretch that out a bit. And we connect that to the inlet with a Jubilee clip. And you're going to want a little ratchet to get in here to tighten that up. It's a 7mm socket, in case you were wondering. Go and make sure that's nice and snug on there. That's our inlet pipe connected underneath here, and that's our exhaust L piece installed. So we can flip it back up Let's connect up our exhaust pipe to the side. So put your Jubilee clip on there. And the exhaust pipe and this piece are virtually the same size, so you do have to sort of wiggle it around a little bit to get it on. There we go. Next up we have the exhaust silencer. That comes with a little bracket as well. Now, which way up do you mount this? It's got a little drain hole in the bottom of it for draining out any condensation that collects in there. So that goes at the bottom. And then finally we've got this cover that goes on the end of this pipe, so just screw it on. Jubilee clip on there, and do that up. It doesn't come with a cable tie, but I'm actually going to cable tie this pipe up here. This is our hot air duct, which we can use to direct our hot air into the room or into the tent or awning, wherever you want your hot air. So that goes on there. And it comes with this plastic vent as well, which goes on the end of the duct, so you can direct the air around the space a bit better. And then this just clips in the end, like that. I've got a few more brackets here for securing the exhaust pipe in position, but I'm not going to be fixing this permanently in this video. I'm going to be keeping it as a portable diesel heater for now. But if you did want to fix it somewhere permanently outside your shed or workshop, you can do that. And it comes with some mounting brackets there for the exhaust pipe and silencer, and a few bolts for fixing it down to a base as well. As I said previously, this is our AC to DC adapter. So it takes our 230 volt coming in from the mains, converts it to 12 volt DC, which this diesel heater runs on. You can run it off of a car battery. It comes with a separate lead for that if you want to plug it straight into a car battery, or run it off of your camper van, motorhome, whatever you've got, your truck, because it actually runs off of 24 volt as well if you've got a 24 volt battery, or perhaps you've got one of those portable power banks, you can run it off of that. But for this video I'm going to be using the mains adapter that it comes with. We've got a green light on this AC to DC adapter to show that that's powered up. So let's plug in our diesel heater. This wall controller can be mounted inside the space you want to heat, and it's got a temperature sensor in here, I believe, so it can adjust the heater accordingly depending on whatever the space temperature is. It comes with this extension cable as well. It's 1.5 meters, so long enough to run the controller into the space. I had to make my own one for the last diesel heater I installed, so it's good that it comes with that. I've got some diesel here, let's fill her up. I've got the garage door open to demonstrate this working, and we've got the exhaust pipe pointing outside, and then we've got our hot air duct coming into the space here. The first time you start the diesel heater, it will take a little bit longer to get up to temperature because it has to initially prime the fuel lines. Now don't be alarmed, they can be a little bit smoky when they first start up, but that does eventually burn off. It's just finished its ramp up procedure, and we've got 60, 70 degrees coming out of there. It's so warm. Okay, there's two modes. There's a manual mode operation. Put it in manual mode. You long press the settings button for 2 seconds. And that's where you get this H5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you've got 10 set values there. So obviously 10's the maximum. Or you can have it in constant temperature mode. Push and hold it again for 2 seconds, and then that gives you a set temperature on the screen. You can have it in degrees C, or if you push the on button and the up button for 2 seconds, push and hold them for 2 seconds, you can change it to degrees Fahrenheit. You can also use a little remote control that comes with it to adjust the temperature and turn the unit on and off, but it doesn't have any other controls on it. In the manual we've got the instructions for app operation here, so we need to download the app, To download the app, you just scan the QR code, comes up with the app, download that. Let's click here to add a device. Bluetooth connection successful. With the app connected, you can adjust the temperature set point on here, and you can see it adjusts the diesel heater. You can change it between the constant temperature mode and the manual mode here. So click gear, and then you've got the 10 different presets. Shows you the voltage, the height 53 meters, because you can also use this in high altitudes where the air is thinner, because obviously that will affect the efficiency of the diesel heater if it's got thinner air. So if you put it in a high altitude mode, that changes the settings inside the diesel heater. The aluminium body temperature, so that's reading the temperature inside the diesel heater. It's currently at 190 degrees. And the ambient temperature is 22 degrees there. Language, you can change the units. Height between feet and meters. We've got a timer setting on here, so you can set timers for when this comes on and turns off. I love that feature because you don't always want it running overnight, so you can turn it off automatically, and you could have it ramp up for when you get up in the morning so it's not freezing cold. Auto start stop, what does that do? I think it's turning off now. The device is shutting down, do not power off. This process lasts for a few minutes. I really like this app to control it. I love the fact you can use that app to set the timers up as well. That's so much easier than going through all the settings on this. Another thing I noticed is it's taken the time off of the phone and adjusted it on the diesel heater. That's really cool. Love that. When I make a review video like this, I begin by asking myself what I'd want to find out about the product so I can try and showcase that to you guys. And for me, one of the most important things when buying a diesel heater would be how long it takes to get up to temperature from cold. The first startup takes longer because it has to prime the fuel lines. So when you fill it up with diesel, the pump will start ticking, and it's surprisingly louder when it's empty. So it's pulling the diesel through the fuel lines, priming the system, and then heat starts to come out once it starts burning the diesel. So now the fuel lines have been primed, I've let this cool down. I can touch the exhaust, this is cold. I'm going to time it to see how long it takes to get up to temperature from cold. And I'm also going to record how much diesel it uses over a half an hour period of running. The ambient temperature in here is 14.5 degrees, 15, let's call it 15 at the duct. And you can see it's got exactly 1 litre of diesel in the tank, according to the gauge on the side. I've got my stopwatch, and I'm now going to start it at the same time as the diesel heater. Start. I've set it to H5, which is the halfway setting. 2 minutes 30. And it's starting to cook up. We've got 30 seconds to get up to temperature. Can it do it? Right, 3 minutes, 25, 26 degrees. Right, 50 degrees in 4 minutes 20. I'd say that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. 10 minutes in, and it's ticking away comfortably at 86 degrees. Another thing I'd want to note about this product is how loud is it? Because if you've got this in your sleeping area, in your camper van, you've got it outside your tent, you want it to be as quiet as possible, don't you? I can hear it clicking away. The diesel pump is ticking. I'll put my microphone next to it so you can hear. And you can hear the fan at the back of the unit as well. A recommendation I would make if you were to buy one of these is maybe build an insulated box to put it in, a bit of soundproofing. Perhaps that's something they could look at doing when they design these. A bit of sound deadening material inside the box itself. It is quite tinny, so you get the resonance of the diesel pump ticking away, but I can't complain too much because it is very reasonably priced for a diesel heater, and it's keeping me lovely and warm right now. 20 minutes, let's see what temperature it's kicking out now. 100 degrees, wow. 30 minutes, I'm going to switch the diesel heater off. One last temperature, 94 at the duct. And while that runs through its cool down procedure, let's check the gauge on the side, and you can see it's used about 200 mils of diesel, I would say. And the fan's turned off. It takes about 6 minutes for this to run through its shutdown cycle. So once you've clicked the off button, it will ramp the fan up to cool down the burner. And then once it's down to a low enough temperature, it will shut the machine off. So just bear that in mind if you're running it off of a battery, because you need to make sure you've got enough capacity left in your batteries for this to run through its shutdown cycle, or else you could end up damaging the machine. It does bring it down to a safe temperature, so you can actually touch the exhaust pipe, which I like. If you're using this as an all-in-one portable diesel heater for camping or for your awning, it will run through its shutdown cycle, cool it down enough so then you can touch the exhaust pipe. So that's good. Just maybe check it first. I don't want you to burn yourself. It's review time. What do I think of this diesel heater? Overall, I think it's bloody brilliant. I love it. There's a couple of little niggles which I'll talk about in a moment, but my favourite feature is actually the app. The way you can control the diesel heater remotely from an app is a great idea, and it works really well. It's very responsive. As soon as I connected the diesel heater to my phone, the time synced on the controller here as well, so you don't have to set that up manually anymore. You can set timers on the app as well, which is a really nice feature. If you don't want this running constantly while you're sleeping, you can have it turn off automatically in the night and then come back on in the morning when it gets really cold without even having to get out of bed. The casing on it's a little bit cheap, but it's a cheap diesel heater. What do you expect? Although it's well put together, it's nicely constructed. You've got a 5 litre tank on the top, which I think is more than adequate for this size of diesel heater. I've been running it for about an hour while testing it here, and it's used hardly any diesel. They claim it's up to 18% more efficient than the previous versions. The only two little things that I'm a little bit disappointed about: the screen here, it's got a mark across it, like a dent. I'm not sure if it came like that or I did it, but even if I did it, that's really easy to mark this screen. It's a bit flimsy. Let's talk a little bit about safety as well, because the exhaust pipe where it mounts here onto the bottom of the diesel heater, potentially exhaust gases could leak from around this connection. It doesn't have a seal around here, and it's a little bit loose on the exhaust actually. I would only use this type of diesel heater outside. I wouldn't have this mounted in any space because it more than likely will leak from around this area. Exhaust gases which contain carbon monoxide, which is poisonous, and you don't want to be breathing that in. If you're planning on getting a diesel heater to mount inside a camper van, I would suggest getting the ones without the casing, and then get a turret plate so you can have the exhaust straight out the bottom of the van. That's what I did in my previous one, and it works really well. And always make sure you have a carbon monoxide alarm fitted inside the space as well, just in case. With that being said though, for the price, I think it's bloody fantastic. Oh, one more little thing. I like the fact that the fuel tank's got a strainer to catch any bits. You can see it's already caught a few bits out of the jerry can in there, but it doesn't appear to have an inline fuel filter, and I would definitely recommend installing one for this to protect the pump. You can see the fuel line just goes straight through the pump and into the bottom of the heater, but it's not filtered. There we go, that is my review of the HC1S by HCalory. Really pleased with this diesel heater, and I'll put a link to it in the description if you want to pick one up from Banggood. And there's also a coupon there, so you can get this particular model a bit cheaper if this is the one you want to get. And that's all for this week. I hope you found value in this content and you enjoyed watching the video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And if you click that alarm bell, you'll be notified when I post new videos. Just make sure you set notifications to all, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Cheers guys, bye for now.